How you doing, everybody? This is Indeed Gaming here. I am in fact Mr. Indeed, and welcome to my channel. Please do like, share, and comment on this video, and we are going to get right into it. Now, this video is going to be on how I hope that they finish the Wu Lin faction. As I'm sure you've noticed from the thumbnail, I am going to be pulling from Dynasty Warriors because, I mean, for those of you who don't know, they kind of already did that with the character Jang Jun, aka Guan Yu. I mean, obviously, they also pulled from history, but you know what I mean. Anyway, the first character, getting right into it, obviously, you saw in the thumbnail, would be based on Lu Bu. For those of you who don't know who Lu Bu was in Dynasty Warriors, maybe you didn't play the game, Lu Bu was basically the Broly of Dynasty Warriors. He was a big guy, he had a Chinese halberd, and he was probably the strongest NPC in the game, especially on Hulao Gate, that you could fight. And yeah, I just think he's perfect for the game. Even his character would fit for this year, especially just because it's like, you know, warmongers versus, people who want peace. Lu Bu would definitely be on the Horiko's side. There's no way he's with the Chimera. But I think they could come up with some really cool Chinese halberds for him. I think Chinese armor in general is just great. So, I mean, I don't even think I need to go into what they could come up with for the armor. The next character would be a character that, again, doesn't necessarily have to be based. Well, it doesn't have to be this character like the same way they did Guan. Like Jang Jun is basically Guan Yu. It doesn't have to be this exact character. It was obvious they were trying to make them this character. But a spear hero. Now, I'm a little hesitant about spear heroes, at least for the Wu Lin, just because, there will be a lot of similarities between him and Shaolin, just because, I mean, they're both fighting in, a Chinese style, and they're both using, a pole, pretty much, a stick. So there will be some similarities. I mean, I'm not a master of Chinese martial arts. I'm sure someone could tell me, oh, there's so many different things. And to be clear, I do think that there are different things they could do to make a spear hero in the movement anyway, seem very different than the Shaolin. So I mean, plus it's just, it has to be. I think they just have to have that character. I mean, spears are probably one of the most universal weapons used in like medieval combat or ancient Chinese combat or Japanese combat or something similar, like Japan. Obviously, it's the Yari or whatever. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce that word. But yeah. It's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. I think Valkyrie being the only spear hero in the game seems a little ridiculous, so I would say that they need to pull from the character Zhao Yong, I believe is how you pronounce his name. There was another popular, my favorite spear hero in Dynasty Warriors, Ma Chao, who had really cool golden dragon armor. I'd love to see that in the game. So, if they kind of like pulled from both of those characters, that would be perfect for me. And if I'm being honest, I would love that. And the last character that I think that they should pull from, and it's not necessarily for this one, just like the last one, because the only one that's really for the character is the Lu Bu character. The other ones I feel like are a little bit more generic, and this one as well. Not really so much for the character, but for the weapon that he uses, would be the character is Liu Bei from the Dynasty Warriors franchise and from history. He was a He was the leader of the Shu faction in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, brother to Guan Yu and Zhang Fei. And to this game, Zhang Jun will be Guan Yu. He would use the I just call it a Chinese longsword. I'll put pictures up in the video so you know what I'm talking about, because I don't actually know what the exact word is, and I probably couldn't pronounce it anyway. But I think that weapon, maybe even more than the spear, is a must-have in the Wu Lin faction. It's a fairly simple, straightforward sword. It's just a long two-sided sword with a short handle. Well, not like Centurion short, but not Zhang Hu long. I think they could come up with some really cool styles for that. And the Wu Lin, in general, their combat always seems to have like more flair to it than everybody else's do. Like they seem like they really went like all out with style when it comes to all their fighting styles. So I think they could come up with some pretty good stuff for him. Funny enough, there was a leak that I believe was ended up being deemed fake, but I actually don't know, of a Wu Lin character that was going to have two of those swords. And honestly, actually Liu Bei, in the beginning of the Dynasty Warrior series, only had one, but he did end up having two later on in the series. So it would be interesting to see if maybe that leak or whatever was actually true, but they just weren't ready to, let the character out, or maybe they pushed the character out, back, because people found out, because sometimes game companies do that. So these are the characters that I would say should finish out the Wu Lin faction. Do you guys agree with these characters? Do you actually know of these characters? Are there any other different weapons that you would want to see in this game for Wu Lin? When it comes to their armors, I don't really think I need to go into their armors, because, like I said earlier, the Chinese armors are really good. They're really fucking cool. I think the Wu Lin, right behind the Knights, have the second best fashion in the game in general. So I don't really think that we need to go into that. I think whatever they're going to do for the Wu Lin, like, remaining heroes, their armor, I don't think we need to worry about. The weapons I'm more curious about, because they have other things that they can do. I know some people were talking about a nunchuck hero. I would hope not, personally. It's just, but that's just me personally, though. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Indeed.